So thank you for
Yep,
joining today. So we've got Usman here from New York for the post-match analysis for India-Pakistan match. Thank you for making time on behalf of Prime Video. My name is Gautam Sharma from Indus Age.
thank you for
So
having
another
me.
thriller, India-Pakistan match, another hype. So was it exciting?
I mean, the atmosphere was unbelievable. You had to be out there. It was just such a vibe. It was such a buzz. People were so excited. I think cricket in New York added to the element. It was just there was some expats there. There was people from England, people from India, people from Pakistan. Uh, there's people from all around the world to come watch this because it was, the first time there's a game between India versus Pakistan in New York City. The ground looked spectacular. The wicket was a tough work, but I didn't mind it. It was a different kind of, let's just smash sixes and fours and see who wins. There was a bit of tactic in it.
Mhm.
And, when India scored 119, I said halfway, the Indian fans were a bit down. So there was a lot of them around there. And I was like, don't be too down. I think that's a competitive total. I really do think it could be tough work in Pakistan. And it was. I do, you know, take away everything that happened though, but the spectacle itself was unbelievable. And I'm, very happy I was out there. I had a lot of fun.
Good stuff. I like the combat between bat and ball because that was getting lost in the IPL, etc. There are far too many sixes and fours. I think I like what you just said about being tactical and strategic. Let's talk a bit more about the pitch. So, did you think that it played differently in the first innings and the second innings?
No, I didn't think it played that much differently. I felt like Pakistan were a little bit timid. Felt like they knew they had a small total to chase and they weren't willing to hit the ball hard. And then I think Fakhar Zaman came out and he looked positive. I actually think Rizwan was batting really well. Unfortunate to get out at that time. That was a big blow for them. But Pakistan to me looked timid and it's very hard to score a tough wicket when you're timid because you just don't get boundaries. And Pakistan really struggled to get boundaries. I mean, the whole way through. And Indians got a lot of boundaries, even though they played, 19 overs, they ended up getting a lot of boundaries, and those boundaries won in the game. So that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, let's talk about the two innings now, Usman. So, India innings, of course, we didn't have the Virat spectacle for the spectators. So his innings didn't come to plan, but Pakistan really bowled well. So, Naseem, Rauf, Amir, they bowled really well.
I think it was a bowler friendly wicket, to say the least. I think Pant batted quite well. He looked the most comfortable out of everyone. I mean, Virat hit a beautiful cover drive. I thought,
I
oh, here we
saw
go.
that.
We might see another Virat masterclass here, but it wasn't to be. Just even the ball he got out on, cut shot, got stuck in the wicket. He went to cut it. You could tell he got stuck in the wicket and it hit one straight to point. So it wasn't an easiest wicket by any stretch of the imagination. It was unfortunate not to see Virat at full flight because I love
I know.
watching Virat at full flight. But I mean, the wicket was never going to be conducive to, you know, big, big score batting. It was always going to be one of those low scoring games. Who could hold their nerve the longest? So I think the Indians did really well. They were, at the 10 over mark, they were flying. I thought, oh, the 150 was on the cards of where they were going. But I also was in the back of my mind thinking, I don't know what the second half of this wicket's going to play like because as the ball got softer, it actually got harder to bat on. It actually got a lot harder to bat on as the ball got softer. And I think the Indians found that out in the first innings. That's why the second 10 overs, they lost so many wickets. So that was a learning experience just for that first innings.
Yeah, in the India innings, I thought, sorry, the Pakistan innings, I thought they were under control. They were going really well. Mid-mark, I think they were, looking very comfortable and cruising towards victory. And something changed dramatically. Typical Pakistan style, chaos kind of comes in and they start losing wickets, etc. So, what do you think happened there?
They just kept losing wickets. That was the only way they were going to lose the game. Even it's always hard. I know from playing cricket myself. When you're batting, there always seems to be more pressure when you're batting than the person viewing it. Sometimes I wish we could just have a microphone to someone sitting outside, a coach, anyone that's sitting away, because then even when Rizwan was batting, and Rizwan was probably behind, he was striking at 80 or whatnot. But we were still going, Pakistan was still going to run a ball at that stage. So if I was a player in that team, I'd be, you know, it's hard to say, but from the outset, you could see that they probably just needed to bat a little bit longer. The Pakistanis did, and Rizwan just needed to stay there a little longer, even though it doesn't feel good because you're striking at 80 in a T20 game. You're still at a run of ball. So you just take the game a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper. And I don't want to put it on Rizwan because he actually batted really well. He's the one person that actually held that innings together on a very tough wicket. But you just as if you were in the Pakistani change room, I'm sure you just wish you could just go to Rizwan and be like, hey, just keep batting for another 5 overs. Don't worry. Just get, if even if it means you get 4 or 5 runs an over, we got wickets in hand in the last 2 or 3 overs, we've won this game. That's where the Pakistanis lost the game. They kept losing wickets, and that was the only way India was going to win from that point because Pakistan hadn't had it under control.
So it's the saying that if Virat doesn't get you, Bumrah will. So Bumrah really bowled well, I
Mm.
think. So he was on fire.
Yeah. Pick of the players in the match. I mean, he was, you know, he's always hard to score runs off it as is. And in Pakistan, as I said, they look timid, and because they look timid, he's just even harder to score runs off when you're not looking to score runs off him because he doesn't give you many bad balls, especially on that kind of wicket. If you don't hit the 1 or 2 loose balls he gives you to put pressure back on him or try to create some sort of pressure back onto Bumrah, he's too hard. I don't mind the tactic of let's just play Bumrah normally and keep him out of the game. The thing was he got wickets too. So when you're giving Bumrah wickets and he's not going to go for runs, that's a double whammy. And one person you probably people don't realize. I mean, 2 big wickets and crucial wickets. Hardik Pandya when he's bowling, he got 2 wickets with bouncers. No one really bowled bouncers a lot in that game, but he got 2 wickets out bouncers, really good bouncers that changed the momentum of the game. So Hardik Pandya did his role in there too.
Great. And any low scoring match is always nerve-wracking and interesting for the audience as well. But there's always a defining moment that changes the course of the match. What do you think that was?
For me, it was the Rizwan wicket. I
Hmm.
thought Pakistan had it under control. Even they lost a wicket before then. I thought he's just cruising right now. If he keeps just scoring the way he is, 4 or 5 runs and over, they get to the last 2 overs. If they need 7, 8 runs and over with wickets in hand, Pakistan should win that game. And Bumrah getting him out, and obviously Rizwan trying to hit a big shot for 6. That was probably the turning point of the game, I reckon.
Yeah, and where does Pakistan go from here? Because it seemed at some stage that their morale is a bit down. This was their match to lose because they were much in control. Do you think there's a mindset issue out here with all the losses that they've had recently?
And it's just unfortunate. I think they should have won last game too. Ralph bowling the last over, 15 runs. Most times than not, you said that's game over right there. And to get into a super over from that point must have hurt, and it dents the confidence. And the games are so quick, and they happen so quickly in this. If you lose a little bit of confidence, it's hard to get that confidence back. And I think if they won that first game, Pakistan, and had that confidence, and they were in the same position as they were in this game, potentially they could have won it off the back of having a little bit more confidence from the game before. But they'd probably totally lost a lot of confidence losing to the US and in a game also where they should have won 15 runs, needing off the last over. And yeah, it was probably, yeah, one of those games where once you lose that, it can be tough. You can be down at confidence, but that's cricket. Cricket is not easy. Cricket is a tough game. And there's
Absolutely.
little things that can change the momentum of the game, particularly in T20 cricket. And you never get ahead of yourself in this game. And that's what Pakistan are experiencing right now.
Yeah, they're an exciting team, though. You're right. So they are unpredictable. On a day, they can really, really bring the A game on. So I'm hoping that they can bounce back for sure. So where does this take us from here to, what do you think your predictions are going to be for the next few days for the World Cup? And who do you see in the top four?
I mean, I still think England have a chance. I still think they're playing against a couple of teams who they should dominate. So if they dominate them, their net run rate's high enough. There's still a chance. I mean, India, obviously a lock. Australia seem like they're a lock. I mean, I'd be very surprised if they don't win at least one of the next 2 games. Uh, and then yeah, after that becomes a bit sketchy, I reckon. You're not 100% sure. What I love seeing in this tournament is not only the big teams winning, but some of the teams that you don't expect to win. And that's the beauty. I think T20 is going international. Yes, still wickets are a bit tough work at times, both in the Caribbean and in the US. The wickets tough work, which means the margin between teams decreases because the wickets aren't as good. But in saying that, seeing teams like Afghanistan play well, US doing well, Bangladesh is going well. Seeing the teams that 10 years ago who we never really talked about now, they're becoming T20 teams, and it's great to see. It's great for world cricket. That's what you want to see. You want to see more teams involved, beating the old traditional teams that have always dominated the games. I think this is making this World Cup really exciting.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I thought Scotland was a bit unlucky. They started really well before the game got washed out. They were, I think,
Mm.
94 no loss against England. So that was
Yeah,
another
yeah,
thriller coming out from a newcomer, which is exciting to see for sure. I think Australia is cruising well, so they had a good win against England.
yeah. I think Australia is just playing really well at the moment. You hope they don't peak too early. That's the only thing. You want them to be peaking a little bit later the tournament, but Australia's got the experience. Once Australia gets in the knockout stages, we're very good at knockout cricket. So looking like we're going to get there. So hopefully it's a good World Cup for Australia.
And Australia is a big stage team anyway, so on a big moment they really stand tall. And we saw that in the one days as well against India in the final. So they're definitely a big moment team. Yeah, it's so fascinating to see that cricket is being played in a new country and there's a buzz there, and there's excitement building up. So how do you feel the second half, which is going to be in the Caribbean? Is that going to be a bit different?
I, I mean, there's still some dicey wickets in the Caribbean. Like that's why Barbados can be a very good wicket. There's other places around can they can throw a bit of a bit of curveball at you. Guyana can be a tough wicket. I've watched the CPL for a while. You can get some big scores, but predominantly they can be spin dominated, a bit up and down, not too dissimilar to what we've seen. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the World Cup finishes up, particularly with all the final matches in the Caribbean.
I'm glad you just said that the spin is going to play. So there's going to be a lot more, art in play in the second half with spin and hopefully pace as well, and a little more bowler dominated because I feel terrible for the bowlers in T20. At least now we're seeing a bit of a contest happening, and
No,
I'm
don't
hoping.
don't don't feel bad for the bowlers. Don't be like
I do. I know
that.
you're a batsman, but when I was seeing the IPL, I said, "Where is this going? It's like
Yeah,
going too
I think the
far."
IPL was a bit of an anomaly, honestly. I think if you look at the IPLs previously, they started off with lots of high scores, and as the wickets have gotten more deteriorating, the runs have gone down. I think this one's a bit of an anomaly. The wickets were really good. Whether the curators are getting very good at making wickets over there, making flat wickets consistently, I don't know. But also, I think the substitute rule in the IPL might have had a little bit of an effect on overall scores at times because you feel like you'd go a little bit harder if you could bring a batsman in later, a little bit longer. And this obviously lengthens your batting lining up too. But I mean, yeah, you're right. It's nice to see a little bit more, variation in terms of the way cricket's been played in this World Cup. Because it has been more bowler friendly than it has been batter friendly. So the bowlers can get a little bit of say back now.
Now, just a last question. I know you're tight on time, Usman. So for the tournament, for the next few weeks, any two standout batsmen that you really think are going to be exciting, and two bowlers from your side? Who's the pick for you?
Ooh, it's a good question. I mean, it's hard to say right now because I think it's expected that the best batsmen in the world are gonna be the ones that stand out. Honestly, I mean, you look at Virat, Babar, Josh Butler for England. These guys have scored a lot of runs in T20 cricket, and they bat up the top of the order. The guys in the bat at the top of the order had the most opportunities to score runs
Sure.
and whatnot. So I expect them guys to do well consistently. The bowlers, I mean, it's a hard one. Boomer's bowling really well at the moment, so I think he could be one of those standout bowlers for India. I think Siraj is also a very underrated bowler. I think he does a lot of good things for India. But then you have, obviously Pakistan's not in the mix as much anymore at the moment, but they have a great fast bowling battalion. To see
Oh,
Mohammad Amir
yes.
back, I mean, I think Mohammad Amir is one of the best left armers I've faced. So it's good to see him back in international cricket. And then, obviously the Aussies have very good bowlers. You got Starkey at the top there. Zampa's a very good spinner. Pat Cummins is world class. Uh, this is the World Cup. Everyone's good, so we're looking forward to seeing a lot of good cricket.
Good to hear. And you missed out Head. Head is another exciting batsman for me. Top of the order for Australia, really going gangbusters. So he's an exciting one to watch as well. So yeah, thank you for making time, Usman. I know we are tight on time today,
Cheers.
but all the matches for the audience are brought to you live by Prime Video. So do click in and see the matches live in US and in West Indies. So thank you, Usman. Thanks for making time.
Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Australia's first Indian magazine to have a national reach, Indus Age is the largest circulated South Asian magazine in Australia with 5 simultaneous editions, 55,000 copies printed monthly, 220,000 readers, largest network of clients, undisputed leader in community news. Indus Age is circulated in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane and Perth to over 525 outlets. Grab your copy now to get the latest on the community, news from India, Bollywood, music and much more. For more info, log on to www.indusage.com.au.